It's 5 times more expensive to get a new client versus to keep the clients you have already. So in today's video, I'm going to leak my entire service delivery, my full SOPs, my processes, everything you need to know about fulfillment, how to keep your clients happy, and how to retain them for months, if not years, without even delivering crazy results. So this is perfect if you're a beginner, because this is also another statistic, right? Most agencies churn at 40%. And if you don't know what churn means, essentially for every client you bring on, churn is essentially the percentage of you losing them, or actually what you lose. So yeah, most agencies, if you're starting out, like you bring a client on, you have like a 25 to 40% chance of losing them next month, basically, because people do not understand these 3 pillars, which I'm going to talk about and go into like actual depth on, and how you can increase the LTV, how to increase retention, even if your results aren't like a 5x or 10x return on investment. I'm going to be giving you the source, basically, because I've had clients where I've generated like a 5-10x ROI and they've still left. So it is not all about getting results. Yes, that has a massive factor in it, but there are also some like insane psychological factors that I'm going to share with you that are going to keep your clients for like months and months extra compared to what they are doing right now for you. So the 3 pillars are going to be automated onboarding, which I'll talk about, the kickoff onboarding call and how to actually, and what to say in that. And then also lifetime value optimization. So how can we keep clients for months, if not years, without churning? So yeah, this is going to be like a mini full guide to client fulfillment. I make a lot of like appointment setting and lead gen videos on this channel, so this one is kind of a bit overdue, but yeah, let's get into it. So here's a simple graph of what's probably happening to you right now. And if you don't have any clients, then I don't know, maybe do some outreach and appointment setting and build a brand and get clients. Anyway, like this video will still be valuable to you. But essentially, right, in business, you can either scale vertically or horizontally. And I'll tell you why I'm explaining this in a minute. But so here we can see a sort of demonstration or a diagram, the scale versus return continuum. Now, essentially, right, we have low scale, high ROI. So at this at this end, we have the order, which is very simple. It's not chaotic. Everything's in check. You spend $100 for your clients. You get a $2 cost per click. You get 50 clicks. You make $500 in revenue. 500% ROI. Now, obviously, you can't just scale this because entropy, obviously, and it will get chaotic. If you were to spend 1,000, you won't necessarily get the same outputs here as you would here. Now, the best way to scale in business is just to retain your clients, quite frankly. And what I wanted to share in this video is these 3 things. But the reason this is important is because if you are getting results for your clients, it's not as easy as just like increasing the ad budget, or if you don't do ads, then this part isn't relevant. But yeah, you get the point. So let's get into this. Now, automated onboarding, right? What I wanted to share, and this covers in the first 24 hours, which is vital because this is where they get the first impression of whether or not you are actually good at what you do, basically. Because naturally they think that the onboarding is going to correlate into the actual like delivery, if that makes sense. Likewise, when you book a call with someone, if they have really good systems and really good processes leading up to that call, the prospect is going to think that that will correlate into your service, even though it has not really anything to do with it, but that's just how it works. So it's really important you dial in your automated onboarding. Now, to do this, what you would need is essentially, there's mainly 3 platforms you can use. Make.com, which is like free, I think, or at least for your first like few automations. Zapier and High Level. Now, honestly, if you're starting out, everyone wants like the shiny like automated onboarding thing. You're going to be signing like 1 client a month probably if you're starting. So it will take you like 30 seconds to send an email. You may as well just do it yourself because it'll probably take you like 20 minutes to set this up, if you know what I mean. So but anyway, let me show you what this would look like. If we go here and wait for this to load. And make sure you stick to the end of this video, by the way, because I'm going to be going over how we can increase the service stickiness and increase LTV to actually keep clients for ages. So yeah, you have to watch all the way through, I'm telling you. So essentially, right, you have your onboarding form, which you would put in your onboarding email, which I'll give you templates and stuff. Will I put it in the description? If I remember, I'll put it in the description. If not, you can just message me on Instagram for it. But essentially, yeah, so when they submit a form, right, what happens is it adds a tag, so onboarding form filled, and then it would put an internal notification to you. It would wait, just set it like that or whatever. You don't have to wait for a time delay, but we just put it in there anyway. And then it sends confirmation email to client. So this is if like you have to build your sub account or anything like that, if that makes sense. But essentially, right, you would put this in the onboarding email. So if we go here and we actually take a look at this, so yeah, you would customize this. So thank you for choosing put your agency name to help scale your niche business or whatever. We are excited to work with you to solve. So we're just being like specific basically and telling them like it's going to be good, and yeah, we're looking forward to solving your problems basically, which is all they care about. So yeah, obviously you'd have your onboarding form like actually here, like in the link, and then you would have your kickoff call that they would basically schedule, if that makes sense. So yeah, we want to say this to make them excited. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you. And then this is just like a variant of it, I guess. You can include a video in here if you want. It's not necessary though, but this is like a very simple one that I'd recommend. So in the actual form that you would put in the email, you want to make sure you include personality questions. Now, the reason for this, you may be thinking, why are we asking about their personality? It's because the better you know your clients, the better you can tailor your service to them and the better you understand them. And if the more you understand them, the better not only results, but the better you can actually like communicate with them, if that makes sense. So that's really important. And then you can just use these platforms to do it. I just use High Level mainly in Zapier, but I've used make.com in the past. And essentially, if we go here, right, before you get on the kickoff call, which happens 24 hours after they pay the invoice on the actual meeting, that's another important note. Make sure your clients actually pay the invoice on the meeting. And then you would essentially send them this welcome email on the meeting, or have it like an automated Stripe trigger link. So whenever they pay, it automatically sends email. That's one option. But on this call, not only have you should have created the sub account or whatever CRM you use to manage your clients. But at this stage, right, you need to set expectations. This is really important. And the best way I can describe this, right, is let's say you want to go for like a run tomorrow or just a walk tomorrow, like morning, and you check the weather and it says it's going to be sunny, but then you wake up and it's raining. You probably won't want to go for your walk. You'll be a bit pissed off. Whereas if you check the weather and it's going to be, it says that it's going to be raining, and then you wake up and it's raining, then you're not going to be as pissed off and you'll probably go for the walk because it's what you expected. So what I do on this one is on the actual onboarding call, I basically tell them a few things that can go wrong when delivering your service. And this will allow them to be prepared and not be frustrated when something isn't working or the ads shut down. I don't really run ads, but would be helpful if you did run ads. You would potentially tell your client before running them that sometimes, on a rare occasion, the ads can pause, or Facebook can be weird, or just list out the main constraints that could happen when delivering the service, and that will help massively with building a relationship. And the best example I can give for this is Uber and Domino's. Now, essentially, right, Domino's Pizza, you probably are all familiar with, they had a main bottleneck when it comes to service delivery, in that the pizzas weren't getting delivered in time, so they were cold, and the customers didn't know when their pizza was going to arrive. So what happened was the customers were actually calling up Domino's and delaying the process of actually getting their pizza on time, because there were so many phone calls being like, hey, where's my pizza, that was actually just delaying it even more. So not only were the customers a constraint, it was also a problem with their efficiency and operations, that they just couldn't get the pizza in time. So what same with Uber, when you order it like a taxi, one of the massive bottlenecks that they had was uncertainty, or whether or not the taxi was going to arrive on time in the right place. And yeah, so these two had a very similar thing when it came to like uncertainty in the service delivery side, you could say. So what they did, in which it honestly has no like correlation to they didn't need to make the service faster, they didn't need to make the service better. All they did was introduce, for Uber it was the Uber map, and for Domino's it was just like the tracker, but then also I think they do like a what's it called, like a guarantee now. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I know Uber has the Uber map, and Domino's I think has a tracker as well now. And yeah, that's an example of like not improving the service, but just giving like good expectations and communicating with the clients, if that makes sense. So that's really important. That's pretty cool. Another cool thing you can do when it comes to increasing LTV, lifetime value of your clients, is so Spotify and Grammarly. Spotify obviously has the the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year, where it goes over your like most played songs and things like that. So this is interesting. I honestly, I'm not sure why this works when it comes to psychology, but yeah, like this is giving updates and giving announcements like this is a good way of doing that. So yeah, basically communicating is very important, which you should have learned from these two things. So now I actually want to talk about increasing LTV. So how can we make the service sticky? Now, what I mean by sticky is making clients want to actually pay for it month after month after month. Now, to do this, I recommend actually installing infrastructure. Now, if that sounds complicated, it's not. Let's say you run ads. Let's say you do like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter what you do, I'm going to be honest. You basically want to include a mechanism. So your offer right now, one example of a mechanism could be like ads. Another example of a mechanism could be organic content. Another example of a mechanism could be like email copywriting for your clients. These are all mechanisms. Now, obviously you don't need 5-10 mechanisms. You only need like 1, 2, 3. But an example of a really strong mechanism that can actually make your service sticky and make clients, have the retention rate of an insane rate, is to actually place infrastructure as a downsell or just include it straight away when you sign the client. Now, let's say you're running ads, right? We need to think of something we can put on the back end that can get great results fast and keep them happy if the ads weren't to perform. So an example of this is like an AI appointment setter. So essentially, let's say they're already getting lead flow. So I work with a lot of coaches who already have the lead flow coming in, and they just want help scaling. So not only is it easy to just like place an AI appointment setter into their social media channels that's just 24/7, 365 days of a year, it's just running, booking appointments. It also is very plug and play, meaning that it can take me like less than an hour to take it for one guy, put it to another client, and just replicate. And then there's no actual service delivery on the back end because I don't need to do anything apart from maybe maintain it once a month or so. And that is an example of how like we can install infrastructure into a business to keep them paying, basically, because we have like the mechanism that's just performing. So hopefully I articulated that in a pretty nice way. Hopefully you understand but yeah, it should just give you ideas around, I don't know, maybe something you can include in the back end for your clients that, can help them run their business better. So yeah, that's a nice one. DR, so database reactivation. So if you're working with a client, if you're doing ads, you may as well run an existing like email blast or SMS blast or both to their lead list to get a return on investment quick. Like these are all mechanisms you need to include on the back end, no matter what service you're doing, to make your clients happy. And I've talked about this in the past, right? But if you want to succeed, you need to make your service inimitable. Now, inimitable means hard to replicate or hard to repeat. So Apple is like an amazing like example of this, because if you walk into an Apple store, you can't say to the workers, oh, I don't want to buy like an iPhone, I'm going to go create one at home. Like, it's impossible. You can't do that. So if we can have mechanisms that allow for an LTV like optimization, we're gonna naturally retain clients for months, if not years, due to how sticky the service is by placing actual like infrastructure, whether it's AI, whether it's a DR. You get the point. So that's that. So that was mainly the whole concept of this, but this part is exceptionally important, as well as the first 24 hours when you sign the client. Be crystal clear, make sure you do what you need to do before the kickoff call so you can already start the relationship off like really strong. And the first week is like massive when you get a client. Just put everything you can into it so you can retain them for ages. And hopefully this example was pretty nice as well in that you learned something. Now if you want this whiteboard, just DM me on Instagram and follow me on there as well, because I post like pretty cool updates every single day. And yeah, besides that, like the video, also subscribe, because most of you who watch this aren't subscribed, even though I post like very valuable content pretty much every other day on the channel. So like, what are you doing? Subscribe. And yeah, I'll make better content if we can get more subscribers. So yeah, hopefully you found this video valuable. Comment whatever video you want next, and just comment for the algorithm if you're watching this, I guess. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.